After you sit on the toilet, don't you? Use that as your meditation.
Not my wife, not your wife, nor anybody listening to this podcast has eaten a shit sandwich. We didn't have a hand in it.
Welcome to Recovery Unfiltered. I'm Larry. I'm an alcoholic.
I am Rob. I am also an alcoholic. We are not professionals. There are no letters after our names. We know very little. However, you will hear the word God and a foreign word in the same sentence. You will also be offended. So if you are easily offended, just pass us by. This podcast
My friend's
is not for you.
Our opinions are just that. If you don't agree with what we're saying, that's okay. We're going to love you anyways. We are not in any way affiliated with AA.
So sit back, grab a beverage of your choice, and get ready.
Let's go.
Swallow
Rob.
Jesus.
Rob.
Know what that sounds like?
Hey, so I sent something to the men's group prior to the end of our last podcast. You got a new nickname because I'm watching.
Oh God!
Because I asked you, and if you're out there listening, I'm going to give you a visual. In the movies and stuff where you see, people's the heart rate. They're in the hospital. They're going to die, and then the thing goes flatline, right? When Larry's recorded, I can see a graph. There's a straight line, and then the squiggly line is going up and down.
Called the audio file. Audio wave.
When someone's talking, mine is basically a flat line mostly. Larry's is like
just like your fucking
heartbeats going at once.
Just like your heart, flat.
Jabberjaw. You remember that old Hanna-Barbera cartoon? Do you ever wonder? Hey, that's better than your sound, though.
A little softer.
Yeah.
Little softer. Hey, what's happening, Rob? Welcome back.
How you doing? What are we doing? What are you doing today?
Well, it's all about Larry again today.
I love it. At least I'm comfortable with that. I'm familiar with that.
And I apologize to listeners, but it was not supposed to be 2 episodes of All About Larry, but it is.
I want to get one clarification on because what we talked about last time, and I wanted to bring
sponsorship. Yep.
Right, but there's another word for that.
Hit me.
If you have a higher power than we have, a Christian would call that discipleship. Because Jesus didn't say, "Go ye into the world and make converts."
Nope.
He said, "Go ye into the world and make disciples."
Yep.
So what that means is you take a man, as discipleship, and then once the steps are over, then you walk alongside that man.
Yes, sir.
As you lead and guide, and that's discipleship.
Yep.
101.
And that's what we do.
Yeah.
And that's what we do.
If you're a Christian, it's called discipleship. In AA, it's called sponsorship. It's the same thing. You're leading someone to an outcome.
So I recently celebrated my 3rd year.
3rd year.
Right. And I wanted to talk about that. My sobriety. Sobriety, baby.
Words matter. So say
I know. Trust me, that's come up quite a bit, even at work recently. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit because a lot of people get confused people outside of AA, like my family. And, I made a nice big post on Facebook because, April 10th was the day that I decided to go to Maynard's. That's the day I decided that my family was more important to me than the alcohol. Right. And I wanted to start living life again. And so April 10th is a very, it's not the day of my sobriety, but it is the day that I said no, right? It's the day that I walked to the edge of that sidewalk and looked over the edge going, down there is freedom. Nobody nagging at me.
Enough pain.
Right. I'm looking over the edge that's this pet tattoo on the back of my arm. It says where the sidewalk ends. And I looked over that edge and I just remember leaning up against the kitchen counter, and I'm looking out the window. And when Pat didn't answer that phone call, I can remember that decision in my mind, like it literally is happening right now. Mm-hmm. It's how vivid it is to me. Right. So that moment, it still relives so like it's right now. And that the 2 or 3 weeks leading up to that period is, I remember where I was at.
Those are usually the worst.
From about February 15th, right around in there, when I was in a conference in Vegas till that April 10th day that I was supposed to be at my grandson's baseball game, and I chose alcohol over that. And that whole 2 weeks, I just live it. It's like I'm living in that pain again. And for the first year I went through that, it was brutal. I'm like, what is going on? No obsession to drink. No, never. But it was just, that pain was just real. But it was that just like, I don't know, reliving it. And when I talk
exactly
to
is what it is.
people, for sure. And I started thinking about that and wanting to talk to other people about it. Hey, do you remember doing this? Do you remember doing that? And, most of the people that I spoke to in AA and, people that have that, and I don't talk to 12, 14, 15, 20 year guys. I've been talking to people, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, those ones that, to me, that's, it
affected me that way.
Right. And
I just wanted June 1st to get over it. As it came closer to the end of May,
right,
which was terrible.
Right.
All I wanted, because June 1st is my sobriety day, all I wanted was that day to get here,
right,
and get over.
Right.
So that, okay, I've done it.
Unlike our belly button birthday, right?
I don't give a shit about that one.
But not anymore, I don't.
Right.
But unlike our belly button birthday, we're excited for it to get there so we can celebrate our birthday, blah, blah, blah. And eventually I'll probably get to that point.
I did. I mean, now it doesn't.
No, not, and it's just another day. It's right. It's another.
But for 3 to 4, 5 years,
yeah,
I had that, and then it bothered me at first. Like, did I do something wrong?
Right.
What? Yeah. And then the second year it happened. Okay, then I would talk to Jay, and third year, okay, I get this now, and I'm grateful for it, because I want to be able to hold it, because if I forget that shit, I might repeat that.
And
shit.
I tell people that
remember that shit.
Yeah, that pain is real.
It will lessen.
Yeah, but I want to commemorate that almost every year. That April 10th, like I said, that. And everybody, when I made the post,
12th is your sobriety,
right? So when I made the post on Facebook about that day, I said in there I said, this is the day that I made the decision at the end of the sidewalk to choose my family. What I was told by Maynard's is, don't let him stop drinking until he's able to get it. They told
my wife this, and I did the same thing you did. I gave my phone to my wife.
Yeah.
They just told you to go get me 2/5.
So and everybody asks, so I have a clock on my arm that says April 12th, 2022 at 2:36 a.m. because I was standing in front of my toolbox. Why I was still hiding my whiskey in my toolbox is beyond me, but that's where it was at.
Yeah, buddy.
I stood in my garage at 2:36 and took my last drink. That's my sobriety date, April 12th, 2:36 a.m. But the day that, and I'm going to read something in here to where I'm not changing my sobriety date. That's always going to be April 12th, but I'm going to read something.
Yeah, it's actually your first day of continuous sobriety.
Right. That's my first day without alcohol.
Perfect.
Well, I shouldn't say that.
Because that's in the morning.
Right. That's the first day that's the day that
you took your last drink.
Took my last drink. Right. So, whether you want to be April 12th.
Fucking hard eyeliners.
Some people say it should be the 13th probably, but I'm not having a celebration.
Your tattoo, damn it.
I'm not changing a celebration to the 13th of the fucking month anyways. That's a bad day.
No, it's not. I'm born on the 13th. December 13th. It's my birthday. Belly button.
That explains a lot.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. 13th's a great number.
My sister was born on the 12th. Anyway, so I want to talk about a little bit about that, because if I'm suffering, there's other people suffering, right?
What are you going to read to me?
So the AA celebration is the Alcoholics Anonymous is an AA birthday, also known as a sobriety birthday or sober anniversary, marks the date a person stopped drinking and began their recovery journey. It signifies the start of a new life free from the effects of alcohol and a significant milestone in the recovery. The elaboration a little bit, meaning an AA birthday is personal date chosen by a member to mark the day they decided to quit drinking and embark on the recovery journey. Leads me to the question.
Technically, that's not accurate.
Okay. Right. Because the 10th is the day I decided I was going to get help.
But your first day
of sobriety,
of your first complete, because technically you drank the morning of the 12th.
Right.
So your sobriety date technically would be, because that's the day of the 12th.
Right.
Your first full day of continuous sobriety would be the 13th. See, because May 31st was my last drunk.
Right.
Well, I'm not drunk, but the last time when Maynard said, I was already sober for 2 days.
Right.
Drying out on the couch, sweating like a dog shit in peach seeds. Anyway.
And they told you
when they told my wife, they go, how's your shakes? I said, how do you think they are?
Right.
Well, your bed's ready. Can you come up? And she goes, you need to get something to drink, because I don't need you having a heart attack up here.
Right.
So I had my phone to Bonnie and said, hey. And Bonnie goes, you want me to do? She didn't cuss, but she says, you want me to? She goes, you want me to fucking do what? She goes, I just spent 2 days with him drying out on. She goes, you could have killed your husband. Not you could kill, but your husband could have died.
Right.
We didn't know. We were just drying out.
Never knew that. I've dried out before.
So I was like, baby, off to the liquor store you go.
That's the most miserable thing to go through. That's why I say
And
this.
that didn't help a bit.
No.
I was so where I was at, because I remember my story, alcohol had stopped working basically.
Right.
So when I drank that, I didn't feel a thing. But I drank it May 31st. That's why June 1st is my first complete day of sobriety. That's my sobriety date, because I drank May 31st. That was my last drink or drug or anything I've ever done to change the way I feel, because I have lost the right to emotional or mental. Oh, damn, what's the word now? Keep going. I just effed it up.
So you guys heard that. Rob told me to start talking.
Yeah, I did. I have lost the right to chemical peace of mind.
Right.
Any chemical peace of mind.
Yeah, and that goes back to me.
California sober, so that goes back to
right.
That's why I say that.
That goes back to like when I have to do, like I said, I've had multiple surgeries since I've been out, since I've been recovered, and I've had to go through the pain medication, all that other stuff.
Dilaudid, I've had morphine, liquid morphine, going through cancer.
And they say so many people relapse when they get on that because of that. And I was so petrified. Because
they're not spiritually fit.
Right. I mean, going back to that same thing,
and that's where brotherhood and sponsorship comes in when we're going through that.
Oh,
because that's, it's tough to navigate.
Yeah. I remember you guys telling me one day in a group, get your ass back on that pain medication.
Take it. If you're in pain, fucking take it.
Oh, I was fucking miserable because...
In the worst case scenario, this is what my wife told me, because I was trying to get off the pain medication early because I'm dishonest, going through cancer, and I was on Dilaudid, which is a kick-ass, and then liquid morphine. I mean, neither one really... They did all right, but just... Anyway, pain was crazy. But she said, I would rather you get hooked on this. Let's get you through cancer, survive that.
She wanted you to survive.
If I got to send you to rehab again,
she wanted you to
get
survive.
through all this, we'll do that. But there was a few moments where I was wanting to get off it just for that fear.
Right.
And we don't make a decision based on fear.
Nope.
Because that's the opposite of
faith.
faith.
And that's what I was doing when I got off of it.
And then once I gave it back over to God, I did some step work in cancer on that. Clean. Yeah. Take the pain pill if you need it.
Right, no, and I did.
Don't take it if you don't.
Yeah, but better make damn sure you got...
And have some accountability.
Right, have some accountability. Make sure your sponsor is talking to you. Make sure...
Or your wife, husband, whatever.
Whatever it is.
Have some accountability. You'll be fine.
I don't know how we got down that path, but we did.
Good, but it's a good path.
No, it is, and I think we need to dig into that, a lot at some point. Celebration, here's another one. Many AA members choose to celebrate their AA birthday annually, often with a cake and blah, blah, blah. Significance AA birthday is a reminder of the individual's commitment to sobriety and journey towards a new life.
I disagree with that.
Why?
Read that again. What'd you say? Let me make sure
The AA birthday is a reminder of the individual's commitment to sobriety and the journey towards a new life.
Okay, but I thought the first thing I thought you let off with was the celebration of that. Because what I believe AA birthdays are about, are not for me. Because my sponsor, because I'd go to primary purposes, he goes, "Hey, where else are you?" Like 1, 2, 3 or sober. He goes, "Where else are you? Where else are you going to get your coin?" I said, "This is my home group."
That's fine.
He said, "No." He goes, "You go get them. And this is your month. You go to every fellowship you can,
Really?
and get them. And because it's not about you, young man. Show these other people who are 2 days, 3 days that this works."
I have a problem with that.
But Jay said, "Go get them everywhere, so you show them that the program works."
Those chips,
and I believe he's right.
Yeah, those chips that you get there. And this is just a tradition that I don't know if Rob does this or if it's just you, but
it's just me.
Yeah, and I love it, right? Because Rob gives me a special chip every year, and this one
and Doug and I give my guys usually give them special chips because it means I appreciate you,
right? And
because when you're getting a 2-year, 3-year, 4-year, 5-year from me,
right?
That's just one. It validates that God is look at the work God has done,
right? And
it's an honor for that you chose me,
right?
And God allowed me to do that. It's an honor for me. So that's the least I can do.
So I got Katie. So what I've done, because you've given me my chip every time, is I'll take Katie. I'll take the chip I get from primary and I'll give it to Katie, and I'll take yours and I put it in my book and I carry that one. Katie carries.
Oh, by the way, June. Hold on. What day? Give me open up June, Dad.
Huh?
Open up June. I'm going to beat you there. It's the third Friday. The 20th of June is the third Friday. You're giving me my chip at primary purpose.
All right. I'll be more than happy to do that.
It's going to be you or Nathan. And since we brought it up right here.
Thank you.
And
that's always a privilege. But that's Katie carries the chip that I get from. She's got my 1, 2.
That's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, she's got my 1, 2, and 3.
Bonnie always gives me a special.
Does she?
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Since year 3, I believe. Since year 3, I believe she's always giving me. She always for whatever.
Right.
Yeah. And you know what I've done? Take a guess at what I've done with those chips.
You frame them?
No.
What?
If you know me. What have I? If you have, what have I? I mean, I've got I go to the fellowships too, so I'll get not the plain ones, but then the nice.
No, the ones you get.
But the nice ones that she's giving me, except for I think like 14 and 12.
What?
I've given them away to other. Do you see? Some of you guys. Those are some of the specials.
That's giving it back.
Yeah,
giving it back.
She goes, hey, where's
you repurposed it?
I go. She goes. I was looking for chips. She goes, where's your 3 through 6 and 6 through and 6 through 11? And I like. Well, Jason got that one. Nelson got that one. Dave got that one.
You repurposing some of
they're nice chips, they just ain't.
I know, but see, my whole goal is I want to make a clock with mine.
Jeanette did that. Or no, Jeanette had a plaque.
Right.
I mean, a nice display.
She's got a nice plaque.
1 through 40. She goes, this is what 40 years of sobriety looks like.
Yeah, I want to make a clock all the way to 12.
Smooth,
right.
Good.
So I mean, I got a good start on it.
I could have one, but I give my shit away.
You're a knucklehead. Anyways,
No,
so that's what I mean. Like I said, I want to talk about that a little bit. This is probably going to be a short one today on this one because, like I said, we're going to bring back Mike and Kim on this next one. And I have no idea what's going on with my recording here.
Are we still recording?
Yeah, we are. I'm recording down here.
I wanted to share one thing. I was talking to Bonnie about this, and this is something that really helps Brandon out. And I've shared it to men's group a couple times, and I even shared last Thursday. Because when you get in here and when you get into the rooms of AA, and I know, okay, when you get into the rooms, when you get into this life,
right,
this way of living, you can go. I've gone overboard. Remember Brandon saying, God, he does something every day. So, and I've shared this, and this is, and I want to share. Anybody listening, here you go. We'll start on page 19. It says, there's a solution. We feel the elimination of our drinking is but a beginning, a much more. Well, let me go back up and start. None of us make a sole vocation of this work, sponsorship, nor do we think its effect. This is the beginning of the book. Nor do we think its effectiveness would increase if we did. We feel the elimination of our drinking is but a beginning. A much more important demonstration of our principles lies before us in our respective homes, occupations, and affairs. So what was Bill saying right there? Yeah. Helping people is important.
Right.
Going to meetings and being, the newcomer, great. Right. But a much more important demonstration of our principles should be in our homes.
Yep.
Our jobs.
1,000%.
And our lives.
1,000%.
Now, if you don't believe that, let's go to page 127 because Bill loves to repeat himself. And which I love too, just drive it home. It says here, since the home has suffered more than anything else, it is well that we think a man exert himself there. He is not likely to get far in any direction if he fails to show unselfishness and love under his own roof, in the home. So what I tell the guys, when I tell people when they start, man, Rob, I understand you don't want to let the life that AA has given you get in the way of your AA life. Right. Great. But God did not, and I'm not even use the F word, but I want to emphasize this. God did not get you blankety blank and sober to sponsor men and go to meetings. He got you sober to be a better husband. A godly man in your community, at your employment. Yes, go to meetings to give back, to receive strength, get your brotherhood, but then your job is to give that away.
Yep. And
that's more important. Right. So you don't need to go to meetings 5 days a week. If you want to do that, that's fine if you have the time for that.
Right.
But remember, a much more important demonstration of our principles should be displayed in our homes, our workplace, the grocery store, gas station,
1,000%.
In our lives.
1,000%. That's where it's, and I just had this conversation with somebody the other day that, I know who it was. It was on my third, speaking of birthdays.
Hold on. You never told me that name.
What?
You were getting ready to sponsor this young man here recently, and some guy walked up and started talking about sponsorship, and you're like, motherfucker, don't choose him.
I'm not going to say it now. We're recording again, fool. Remind me. Your old ass forgot.
I know. I want that name.
That's funny. It doesn't matter.
I want that name. Okay.
Anyways, so one of the things I wanted to do, so I got this photographer. Her name's Jocelyn, and I'm going to get her name of her studio right now because She's she's awesome. Love her to death. She did my oldest daughter's, she did my oldest daughter's engagement pictures. And then she did it's Jocelyn Daniel Photos is her name, is who it is. Jocelyn Daniel Photos. And so she did Miranda and Eric's engagement, and then she did Miranda and Eric's wedding. And then when Everly, my new granddaughter, was born, she did her newborn pictures, and then she did Pat and McKenna's engagement pictures, and she's going to eventually do their wedding pictures. So when I was coming up, it was about, I don't know, beginning of March. And I was like, you know what? We haven't had family pictures done since my kids were probably, it's been at least 10 years since we've had any kind of family pictures done.
I'm not going to tell you how long it's been for us.
Get it done, brother. You need to schedule it. I'll give you Jocelyn's number.
Give me your numbers.
I will.
Right. We need to do this.
You need to, because that's going to be gone. And but pretty soon it's going to be not just the 4 of you anymore. Yeah. It's going to be 7, 8, 9. You need to get it done. Trust me. And so I said, do you have an opening April 12th? She goes, yeah, I do. And I go, good, because you've been a part of this so far. I want you to be a part of this. And she was excited about it. Anyways, so we went and had family pictures done on my birthday over in San Francisco down on the beach. Beautiful day, beautiful time. It was awesome. Well, she sent me the first proof yesterday of, and she had the whole family hugging on me and staring at me. And oh my God, what a precious moment. Ooh. And I still look at that and go, I was one drink away from missing that right there.
And that's why we do it.
Yeah.
That's why we do it.
That's why I brought that up, right?
Yeah.
Because no matter what we do.
You see the picture of Nathan and his family?
Oh my God. That's why I said beautiful.
That's why we do
beautiful,
it.
right?
And the whole story that goes behind that.
Yeah, God, that's why we do it. That's what, just when I looked at it.
You want to talk about someone on fire.
Oh my God. And you know what? He's got more sobriety than me, but what did he do? He kind of went into a little bit of dry spell, right?
But now we're on the jiu-jitsu mat together.
Right.
Dude, it's awesome. I mean,
and watching his light come on, it's getting brighter and brighter and brighter, right? And same thing.
He lights me up. I mean, it's
it's so fun. And like I said, he was on the podcast. Right. He wouldn't have done that 2 years ago.
No, he wouldn't. But look, but again to the listeners, the things that God will do once you really give it to him by
absolutely
sacrificing self,
absolutely,
and ego, and getting into this work and saying, "Here, Lord, here's my life open to you.
Right.
What will you do with it?" And let him do it. And let Nathan just like, "Hey, whatever God wants, Rob, I'm good." And he means it. And when you just see it. God working.
And that's
what gives me the juice.
Me too. Watching, and like I said, when I was this past week, I was working through some stuff, and the anxiety and the Katie was, you okay? Yeah, I'm good. I got to work through this. Mm-hmm. It's several things working through that. One, I never had an obsession to drink. Never any time did I think a drink would solve any of it. Number two, it helped me work through. Turning it over to God and
we're growing up. It's spiritually growing up.
But it's such when people look at me and say, well, you got to turn it over to God, I want to punch them in the mouth. You're working through it. I'm working through it. I'm doing it. Yes. That it's just not that easy for some people. Some people say they can just turn it over and walk away from it. I can't. No. My personality is different.
It's good. But I'll
let go of it and re-grab it again. Right. Yeah. I do it all the time. And I'm like, I can still do it. Let me try it again. Let me do it this way. Let me do it that way. And I go to him every morning. God, show me the path to work through this.
And that's the beautiful part of spiritual growth. That's
and you know what? Doing. You know what finally helped? Working with Blake yesterday.
That always, dude. Getting out of self and stuff like that always.
Oh, dude, I was to tell you
again. And I've shared this before. I'm as big a pig sober as I am drunk. I get and asked Bonnie. She goes because we were coming home from breakfast this morning. From My Garden Cafe, very good. They don't sponsor the show, but anyway, she goes, I love when you come home on Wednesdays and Fridays and you beat up from the wrestling, from the jiu-jitsu mat with Logan and the boys. She goes, in the relationship you have with your son, I used to be jealous of it because, junior high, he went your way,
right?
But seeing that, and she goes, it's the same thing, Rob. The same excitement you have when you come off you're coming off the mat, you're coming home, even though you're, baby, get the Epsom salt ready, coming, because I'm out there scrapping with, and I'm kicking ass.
I can imagine.
Kicking, but anyway.
I didn't go watch.
It's the same look you come in after you've done, you're working with somebody, you've taken something to the 4th step or their 5th step, you've heard there, and you come home telling me all about it. Shows you're just lit up. It's the same way. So it's the same, that same, when we were chasing
Right.
something with booze and drugs or whatever.
Absolutely.
I
1,000%.
get that when
I
another
do too.
man, the lights come on.
I do too.
And
I
I'm
love it.
talking
But
about God and the spirits just fired you up.
And
It's the
I
same
do
thing.
the same thing when I work through this podcast, when I'm doing the editing, when I'm working through the messages that are coming in. It's just, I get fired up for it. But you know what? I get those emotional dumps too, because, and do you get those?
We're human. Oh, absolutely.
Do you get them?
Absolutely.
You were a little bit on the downside when I talked to you the other morning. You said you were tired.
Oh, I was exhausted.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm getting up at 3 a.m,
Right.
doing, and then I've thrown in, I got something going.
Were you physically tired and emotionally tired?
Both.
That's brutal.
Because we've shared
That's
that.
brutal.
When your body's,
Right.
no matter what, because I work out, I train and then I go train and I teach wrestling and then right? And then I got something going on every day of the week.
Yes, you do.
But when your body's wore out, but your mind is sharp, you can still function.
Oh, yeah.
But
No,
when
for
your mind
sure.
is shot, I don't care. Or you're emotionally shot. It doesn't matter what your body's like.
shutting down.
It doesn't matter. You're done.
Your
So
body's
I was
saying,
burnt.
nope.
Yeah, I was, and I had, but when Tuesdays opened, okay, men's Bible study takes off into May. It goes on hiatus forward. I told Bonnie today, I promised her, I'm not throwing nothing on Tuesdays.
Good for you.
That's a free day.
Good for
Thursday, in June, my commitment to the Big Book study
Is it up?
is done.
Are you going to get all the way through the 164?
Yeah, probably.
Are you?
Probably. We'll be close.
Okay.
It depends because we have a lot of, last week we got through three sentences. And there was only 16.
But see, that's the best.
There was only 16 of us in there. It was so odd. There were 16 people, small group.
Right.
I mean, that's a big group for a lot of people, but that's a small group for that meeting.
Right.
And dude, we had a lively over 3 sentences.
3 sentences. See, those are fun.
10th, 11th step, at the 11th step.
Right.
Upon awakening.
Right.
Okay, we got through way more than 3 sentences, 3 paragraphs.
Okay.
Still not much. One page. Half a page.
That's awesome. Yeah, I hate that.
So I don't know if I'm going to get through it. God knows.
Right. When is it? June?
June 1st. I'll be done. Somewhere in June.
They're probably going to ask you to stay.
I'm not doing it.
Attaboy.
Someone else can take it. Tuesdays are going to open up, and I'm not filling it.
Are you
with
telling
anything.
God what you're going to do?
No, I'm telling you. I told my wife, Tuesdays are opening up, and I'm not filling it. I'm not filling it. Thursdays are going to open up, and I'm not filling it.
Yeah.
I'm not making any
Good.
commitments.
You need a break, dude. You need a break. And you know what, though? But just like I was saying.
Well, and I've taken your
if you
advice Monday, because Wednesdays, when wrestling starts back up from 5 to 6, I'm going to help coach.
Good.
6 to 7, I'm on the mat getting my butt kicked, and I'm kicking butt.
Right.
Fridays, 6 to 7, or then 7 to 8, it's on the mat, and that's
you. You need that time.
But that's as spiritual as it is physical for me.
No, and you know what?
And
When you sharpen your
with my son.
When you you just can't. When you sharpen yourself like that, you're more prepared for everybody else. Right.
That's as good as a meeting for me.
Yeah, and that's where I think, like I said in the previous episode, where my first 2 sponsees, I wasn't nowhere even remotely close to being in the right place to sponsor.
Hey, and I had this Friday. I'm going to brag. So let's say I don't give a shit.
Hit it.
We were on the mat. We're just free. We're here rolling from feet to submission. I had a 21-year-old kid, because I can't do nothing. You're just too fucking fast. And I'm like, dude, I'm 52 years old, stage 4 cancer survivor with a titanium hip. That's the greatest compliment I've had in 5 years. You're just too fast, he says.
That kid needs it. I can't believe that come out of his mouth.
Well, I'm pretty quick.
Yeah, you are.
That's funny.
All right, Rob. Recovery Unfiltered podcast at gmail.com. That's Recovery Unfiltered. We've had a lot of technical difficulties. I have over here my stopped recording. So, God, I hope these all come out okay.
Well, hey,
I'll pinch them together somehow.
Yeah. God will do it.
He'll do it. Yeah, God will do it. All right. Recovery Unfiltered podcast
and if
at
we
gmail.com.
can, the next thing you'll hear after these 2 will be
Kim
and Mike.
Yep.
Right on.
Yep, God willing.
And
Recovery Unfiltered podcast at gmail.com. Thank you for joining us today.
We hope you learned something today that will help you.
If you did not, come back next week and we'll try again.
If you like what we heard, give us a 5-star review. If you don't like what you heard, kiss my... You can't say that, can you? Anyway, if you don't like what you heard, go ahead and tell us that too. We'll see what we can improve. We probably won't change nothing, but do it anyway.
Hey, thanks, Rob. Come back next week and hopefully something will be different and something will sink in. Take care.
This has been Recovery Unfiltered.